And we're live. It's Adam Robinson, founder and CEO of Retention.com. We help e-commerce brands grow and monetize their first-party audience. In episode 4 of our Work in Public series, which we're showing you how we're building a unicorn in public, I'm going to just talk to and try to show you a little bit about this founder brand I'm building, which is largely all of this content that I'm creating. So I'm doing a few things, and the reason is because my mission number one over the next 2 years, as far as I can tell, and I'm open for other opinions about this, but we have this product that works so well for Shopify Plus, meaning the top 14,000 of 4.5 million Shopify stores. Unbelievably well. Our penetration is under 1% into this group, and we have no direct competitors. There's a few people that are doing things similar to us, but I think our offer is actually better in pretty much every way for the Plus store than these other adjacent competitors. So as a result of that, I see the opportunity to build the dominant brand in that ideal customer profile. Part of that is buying Retention.com. The other part is it's much easier for people, in my opinion, to connect to a face than it is to a set of words. So there's a whole brand building that can be done by putting content out there as the founder and allowing people just to connect to me and becoming a guy in this world of e-com, which I am definitely not right now. I'm doing a lot of stuff to try to be that, speaking and getting in with influencers and all that stuff. Mission number one is just becoming a person in this space, a guy. So what am I doing? Basically, the awareness platform we're going after is LinkedIn, and the trust platforms I'm going after are a newsletter, which is written twice a week, and a podcast that I call 10 Years in the Making. In that podcast, we are interviewing, we have really cool customers. The Shopify Plus avatar or ideal customer profile is namely founder run still. They have incredible traction, and I think they're all sitting in a similar position to me. It's like, well, what am I going to do with this eventually, right? Like, I have something that has gone beyond, this is working for sure. And, at some point, a financial outcome needs to enter the picture. So that brings up all sorts of discussions about, did you bootstrap? Did you bring on VC? What is your ideal sort of exit scenario? What are your options in the interim? Like, what are your sources of secondary share sale liquidity, all that stuff. So that's what I'm trying to do. So number one is now we've kicked it up to twice a day posting on LinkedIn. And the LinkedIn posting is, for the most part, largely email, SMS, list growth, like that type of thing. These tips, like value first, follow me to learn more about that type of email is the message there. And I'm doing a once a week post on the company page, which this is, and the purpose of that work in public, for me, in my opinion, it's to attract talent to our organization. I am literally going to get this thing to 100 million ARR in the next 24 months. And I am going to post weekly about how we are doing it, which I think is incredibly compelling content for somebody who wants to be involved in something like that, given the fact that that's a 10x over the course of 2 years in revenue growth, which for SaaS is just unheard of. And there's a couple other videos that are up already that I think are pretty interesting. The one about the sales deck is great, I think. And, I posted our plans. And look, how's it going? So first month, added to 2,400 followers. My following grew on my personal page from 3,200 to 5,700. On the company page, it went from 638 followers to 1,400 followers. And there's such a low base that, like, if you, for instance, look at these engagement metrics, they're just insane. I'll throw up a couple pages right now. And then I personally, I have some people helping me out, with strategy, right? Like when to post, how to write it, all that stuff. They are not saying this, but I believe this. I believe in video. I think that, it's much lower reach on these platforms, but is much higher engagement. If somebody watches, if you've watched the last 4 of these videos that I made in one sitting, I think you feel connected to me. You feel like you have a really good sense as to how we think here, how I'm making decisions at the top. For instance, 627 people, at least that's the stat that LinkedIn shows, watched the video about the sales deck last week. I think if you're contemplating joining our company and you watch that video, after you watch it, you're way more motivated than before you started watching it to join us. So, as is the point of marketing as it relates to all the rest of our products, the point of marketing is to make sales easier. So the reason I'm doing this is to make recruiting easier. I have to do it every week. It's something else that I add on my plate, which I'm not thrilled about. But I think that over the long term, it's going to be an amazing recruiting tool for us to have me posting once a week about literally what I'm doing to grow a company 300% a year in an inflationary, recessionary environment where all the companies we sell to are getting hammered and we're still growing like that. That's why I'm doing it. So literally how I'm doing this, which I think people appreciate on these types of videos more than anything else, right? Because before I started with this founder brand nonsense, I literally didn't even know where to start, right? So my boy Tommy is helping me with the general strategy on this. So I block my calendar on Monday morning from 9 till noon, and I kind of don't do anything but this. And Tommy gets me hooks. And I sit down and I look at the hooks, and then I start creating bullets that ultimately become text for text LinkedIn posts about my thoughts about the hooks, right? This weekend, we wanted to talk about SMS, and I'll tell you what the hooks were. The hooks were 5 aggressive ways to grow your SMS list, top 3 aggressive SMS flows, 5 tips to get the SMS conversion rate better, top 5 best practices for SMS. So, and then I just write it out. And then I will show you what I'm doing right now. I did a post last week on my LinkedIn setup, and the LinkedIn setup doubles as a podcast setup. I'm hitting record. On my teleprompter, I take these bullets, and my camera is behind this. So it's actually recording me right now as I'm doing this. And then when I get done with this video, I basically create a raw version of it. I pack the bullets into a Word doc, and we ship them to this guy, Visionary. I'll put his name in the comments. But he does a great job at, this I edit myself, but he does a great job at formatting the short form stuff to where it's like TikTok ready. Even though we're not using it for TikTok, we're putting it on LinkedIn right now. But the idea is we're building enough of a content library to use it on TikTok at some point. And then that's the process. And then, like I said before, Tommy helps actually post the stuff that I'm creating. And there's a calendar in Notion, which I'll flip to right now. And we're always a week ahead on content. And this is how, in 30 days, I've almost doubled my personal following. The engagement metrics are up by thousands of %. We've doubled our company following. And, at the same time, I'm building this content brand. So the astute ones of you may be thinking, well, this video looks different than that short form video I see on your LinkedIn page. What do you do there? So I actually use subtitle.com to get this template set up. And then I have somebody on Upwork named Cecilia. She jumps in. She actually does the grammatical corrections on their subtitle thing. And then once that's done, I download it myself. And Friday comes around, I post it, and that is this work in public thing. So that is all of the initiatives that I'm taking for building my founder brand. Again, we're not tracking how this is doing. I just think it's like a very soft thing that is highly necessary for the mission that we have, which is creating awareness in this audience. We should track it someday, but we're just not right now. And, follow how we're doing with all of this stuff. Hopefully at some point I will have somebody in here smart enough to measure the actual effect of it. For right now, we're just about to ramp up hiring. And I don't right now, but I just have such conviction that it's the right thing to do that I'm doing it. If you need conviction, read Dave Gerhardt's book, Founder Brand, and his arguments for why you should be doing these things. And yeah. Oh, on podcast production, I'm using an agency that is producing the entire thing. And by producing it, I mean, all I'm doing is putting the stuff in Riverside, which is the podcast production app. And then they're doing copywriting around it, the actual, sort of title, description, all that stuff. They're repurposing it for social media so that my social media team can just post all this stuff over and over again. And, they created the cover art, all that stuff. I'll put a link to them in the post as well. I think that is all. Signing off.